My name is Nincy Mariam Mondly. I'm settled here in Trivandrum. I have a beautiful family and I work as a psychologist, and I'm also into arts, not by profession, just by passion. And apart from that, I'm, like you can see, I'm a wheelchair user. I've been wheelchair bound since the past 11 and a half years following a spinal cord injury. So today I'm here to share my story and hopefully encourage you through sharing my story. Yeah, now before I go to the whole lecture mode, I'd like to share some pictures that I've drawn, okay? So these are pictures from the Bible. Like when I read the Bible, I'll get inspired to draw something, or the way I visualize the whole thing, the whole scenario happened, and then I try to turn it into a drawing. Okay, so we'll see these pictures one by one, and in order to engage all of you better, because I like an interactive audience. Okay, I want you to try to guess the scene. Okay, when you see the scene, try to see which scene it might be, and don't worry about wrong answers. It's okay. Yeah, I mean I drew it, right, so maybe it's not perfect also. Yeah, so. Okay, that's the first picture. We'll go one by one, okay? Once they complete one picture, we'll go to the next picture. Okay, so what does that look like? So that is my cup overflows with blessings. Good. That's from Psalm 23. A beautiful Psalm. Okay, let's go to the next picture. Walking on the water, yes, and that could be. I mean, when I visualized, I was thinking, okay, that could be Jesus as he's coming to his disciples to rescue them from the storm, telling the disciples, "Don't be afraid, I am here." Or it could also be Peter, who is actually stepping out in faith when Jesus say, "Come to me," and yeah, he'll also fall, but it could be God, or it could be us also, as we step out in faith. Yeah, next picture. You can be loud, okay? Like I said, don't worry about wrong answers. I'm trying to stir you up and make it more engaging this way. And also, if at all you're bored or sleepy, you'll feel more activated. So, yeah, this is, for this picture, I just drew the picture. And later on, I thought, okay, this actually resembles this particular scene. Okay, so definitely it's holding hands. But one particular scene that I felt this could be very applicable. There's an elderly hand and a smaller hand, right? So anything that strikes you? I will never forsake you. Okay, for me, what I thought, none of those are wrong. Okay, this is my perception. So the little girl, Jairus' daughter, okay, one of the leaders in the synagogue, his daughter, who was ill, and Jairus is asking Jesus to come home and just pray for her so that she'll be well. But then she dies in between. And then there are others who say, okay, don't bother Jesus because she's already dead. But then Jesus comes in, and he comes into the room just with her parents and Peter, James, John, and three of them go, and Jesus asks the child to rise up, okay, and holds her hand as he does that. So that is what I kind of pictured through it, and that could be our hands, okay, when we have fallen down and Jesus is reaching out his hands and asking us to rise up. Next picture. One of my favorites, okay? Even though I drew it, but my favorite, yeah. Yes. Something, a scene that is very close to my heart. You can automatically imagine why. Okay, so that is a lady who was suffering from bleeding for 12 years, and she this is one of the scenes in the Bible that shows active faith. Yeah, she declares to herself that if I touch his robe, I'll be healed. So I try to picture that scene, okay, when she's reaching out to touch his robe, with all that faith, with no one else seeing. Okay, she didn't try to make herself come out in the public like that. She's doing it from behind, not to bother anyone. Yeah, so I was just trying to draw that. Okay, next scene. Again, one of my other favorites. Yes, it's so easy, no? It's so easy. Uh, it is the woman who is probably called immoral, okay? And when Jesus goes to the house of a Pharisee to attend this dinner, she goes there boldly. So whenever I read that portion, I keep imagining how bold this lady would have been. Okay, when the public is blaming her, accusing her, criticizing her, looking down at her, she steps in boldly with one purpose in her head, and that is to wash the feet of Jesus Christ with this alabaster jar of oil that she has, okay? All her earnings, okay, she's spending there, and more than that, she's washing his feet with her own tears and wiping them off with her hair. So I keep visualizing, as she does that, everyone would be looking at her, making passing comments and all, but still she does. She does what she wants to do, and God recognizes that. And one of the most favorite verses in line with that is when Jesus says, the one who has been forgiven more will love more. Yeah, so this is again another scene that is so close to my heart. Coincidentally, Dr. Deepa was asking us to think of the heroines in the Bible, right? So I look at these as heroines in the Bible. So we can connect to them in one or the other way, right? Next scene. Yep, another heroine in the Bible. Yes, Rahab or now again another scene where she's putting out this scarlet rope. Okay, so now she is a Canaanite woman, okay, who has only heard of our God from a distance, but still she shows faith and waits and expects her to be saved. Okay, again she's bold enough to lie to those people who come searching for the spies, and she very smartly deceives them and says, oh, they went the other way around, okay, rather than denying, no, they didn't come. I keep thinking she could have said, oh no, they didn't come, I didn't see them, but no, she was smart enough to say that, okay, they went the other way around. Okay, so she's actually buying time for the spies. Okay, I'm hoping that these stories are familiar for everyone, no? So I'm not giving any context or anything, just talking, blabbing on. Okay. Yes, so Rahab is another heroine in the Bible, I would say, who showed faith. Okay, next scene. Not so explicit, but then you can imagine. Huh? Sorry? Living water. Okay. Water turning into wine. Yes, that is what I tried to show. Maybe it didn't come out so well. My bad. But yes, water turning into wine. And also another way I looked at this is Jesus is the wine. Yeah, so let's say we are all plain water. And when we are one with Him in spirit, we actually have this inner transformation. Yeah, water transformed into wine. And that is through Jesus as it passed through His hands. So that is what I tried to show there. Okay. Next scene. Yep. Let's see. This is from the Old Testament. Just a hint. Okay, maybe this works with the younger crowd who are not so. Okay, so Moses, yes, and again one of my favorite scenes. Even in context, maybe I don't know who all are familiar. So Israelites are fighting against the Amalekites. Okay. So God tells Moses that so Moses has a staff, okay, as long as he holds up his hands, okay, when the staff is above, Israelites will win. When he brings the hands down, they will lose, okay, as in Israelites will lose. So Moses is holding up his hands high for hours, okay, hours. Okay, ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഈ മൈക്ക് ഈ കയ്യിൽ കുറേ നേരം പിടിച്ചാൽ തന്നെ അല്പം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് മാറ്റണം, okay. നമ്മുടെ കൈ പെരിക്കുമല്ലേ. Just imagine Moses having to hold them up high. Okay, so definitely he was not alone. That is why I tried to show these other hands in the picture. Okay, so there is Aaron and her, I think, I am not sure how to pronounce it. Okay, there are these other two people who are supporting Moses. Okay, Moses nirikkan kasera, I mean kallittu kodutittu Moses inde kai taangi pidikka so that it can be held up high. Okay, so I didn't note this down, but there is this other portion in the psalm which says something like, as I close my eyes and lift up my hands, may God see this as a sacrifice ennu parayunna oru verse undu. So I kind of imagine that, okay, when Moses does that, when he is holding up his hands, he's actually offering a prayer right then. Okay, this is my sacrifice, because it is hurting. It is hurting like hell. Okay, his hands might feel numb, right? I'm sure Jesus also felt that when he was hanging on the cross. So, right at then, that point, all of these scenes, it is impossible without faith, okay? Ee കാണുന്ന scenes, they just a few from the Bible, okay? None of them are possible without faith. Is there anything left? Where is scene undo ini? Undo. Next scene? Okay, there is David. Okay, this is something I added, okay? Are you able to spot Goliath there? With a shadow, yes. Okay, I tried to kind of squeeze in him there also. Okay, Goliath is with a spear. Okay, a sharp thing that you see as a shadow. That's padam photo edutappo vanna shadow alla. Okay, ഞാൻ വരച്ചപ്പോൾ ഉണ്ടായ ഒരു discoloration അല്ല. I actually tried to add the shadow of Goliath there. അതായത് when David is having these pebbles in his hands, okay? Goliath is standing there. Such a big figure, അല്ലേ? Again, a verse that strikes me is very important over there is what David says is, now you are coming against me with javelin and spear and sword and everything, but I come to you in the name of the Lord. Okay? I mean, again, pebble okay, now David had this practice, okay? God was molding him as a shepherd to, let's say, fight bears and lions and use this stones and pebbles to protect his sheep, okay? God was already training David for that. But at that point, to have the courage and boldness to go to a man who is so much taller and bigger than you, and to actually do that, you can't do that without faith, even if you have the skill. Okay? I mean, let's say I have the skill to speak and engage people, but to be here right now, talk boldly like this, I need faith. Okay, so yeah, next scene. Yep, that's the most recent one. Nothing specifically from the Bible, but you can just look for the essence. Okay, what do you feel when you see that picture? Couldn't be a specific scene in the Bible, but just an essence of it. Eda? Ketilla. Carved out as a palm of his hands. Okay. Yeah, that's also beautiful. One verse I associated with this is, my grace is sufficient for you. My power works best in weakness. It could be anything, okay? This is not an explicit scene. Okay, so yes, this was my intro to the whole session. So these scenes, I thank God for giving me the talent to draw them. Okay, and this is the first time I'm using them like this in a session. Okay, and they're very personal because in each of these scenes, I see myself. Okay, or I've tried to imbibe that faith in me so that the journey ahead becomes a little bit easier. Okay, especially those scenes that you saw where the woman is reaching out to the robe. Okay, where she's trying to get herself healed by touching his robe. So I've suffered physically. Yeah, I've suffered a lot physically, and so that I am desperately in need of healing. And I've carried the burden of guilt, like let's say the immoral woman who was washing the feet of Jesus. I've carried the burden of guilt for so long, and that's so heavy. Guilt is the heaviest emotion you can have. I've carried it so long that I've desperately needed forgiveness. Okay, so let me give you some context. So physically, and a disability is being paralyzed. Okay, I'm paralyzed below my chest level. അതായത് നെഞ്ചിന് താഴോട്ട് തൊട്ടാലോ നീക്കാനോ കാലുകൾ അനക്കാനോ ഒന്നും എനിക്ക് പറ്റില്ല. Okay, I'm paralyzed below my chest level, and that's the biggest disability I have. Biggest ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് is because I have minor other disabilities also. Okay, so this is the biggest disability I've suffered for the past 11 and a half years now. Okay, now while that is a physical suffering I've gone through, the guilt or let's say the biggest sin I've committed so far, hopefully not anymore, but I've committed, is I tried to kill myself 11 and a half years ago. Okay, you can connect the dots, and that is why I ended up in a wheelchair. So, as you can imagine, I'm here right now in front of all of you. I mean, I couldn't have been here without the mercy of our Lord. Okay, I'm here because of Him, only because of Him. So today, I hope to take you through snippets of my life story, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to relate to at least some parts of it, and much more than that, I hope that it will inspire you to reach out to God and serve God more than what you already do. Okay, because I'll take you through how my relationship with God changed over all these years. So let's begin with childhood. Okay, അപ്പോൾ കുഞ്ഞായിരുന്നപ്പോൾ എന്താ പറയുക, നമ്മൾ ഡെയിലി പ്രെയർ, ഓക്കെ, വി യൂസ് ടു ഹാവ് ഡെയിലി പ്രെയർ. Okay, and I had this rhyme Bible that I would read with pictures in it. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഡേവിഡിൻ്റെയും ഗോലിയാത്തിൻ്റെയൊക്കെ പടങ്ങൾ, it stuck right at that age, ആ പടങ്ങളെല്ലാം എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൽ ആ സമയത്താണ്. ഡെയിലി പ്രെയർ ആൻഡ് റീഡിങ്, ബൈബിൾ റീഡിങ്, ഫാമിലി പ്രെയർ, ഇൻഡിവിജ്വൽ പ്രെയർ, ഇതൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു കുട്ടിക്കാലം. സോ it was going well, and as a child, the main thing I want you to notice, I didn't know what sin was. Okay, പ്രാർത്ഥനയിൽ ഞാൻ പറയായിരുന്നു, എൻ്റെ പാപങ്ങൾ എന്നോട് ക്ഷമിക്കണമേ. പാപങ്ങൾ എന്താ, എന്തെങ്കിലും മോഷ്ടിക്കുന്നത്, എന്തെങ്കിലും കള്ളം പറയുന്നത്, ഇതൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു അന്നത്തെ എൻ്റെ പാപങ്ങൾ. I didn't know of the sin. Okay, I didn't really know. So as a child, it was going on like that. School life എല്ലാം, I grew up as a very blessed girl. Okay, supported with a beautiful family. I have a wonderful family, papa, mummy, chechi. Okay, loved, and all of them, we modeled our prayer and everything seeing papa and mummy. Okay, how they would say that, okay, God will help എന്നുള്ളത് കൊച്ചിലെ മുതൽ കേട്ട് വളർന്നു. Okay, so childhood was very blessed. I was a smart girl, confident, okay, good at academics, good at co-curriculars. Things were all going good. People had high expectations of me. I thought well of me also. I had an email ID that said confidentgirl@gmail.com. Okay. So I really felt good about me back then. Okay, capable. Okay, so angane irunnappozhekana, so that's the initial phase. Okay, that's my childhood. So I'm going forward without really knowing what is sin. And if you don't know what is sin, what is the main drawback, you don't understand why Jesus did all of that, right? Yeah, you don't need a savior unless you're a sinner, I guess. Okay, so childhood was going on smoothly. Okay, can't blame anything. Orthodox background, I come from Orthodox church. Okay, so but still, I'm telling you, typical Orthodox nalla. I've had a relationship with God right from my childhood. Okay, I would talk to God as a friend. Okay, my prayer was like a friend. Devathinodu chumma samsarikka aa reethiyilarunnu. Okay, so that was my childhood. And then school okka kazhinju vannappozhekkum things are going good, and after school I'm going for higher education, bachelor's cheyan povunu Bangalore. And that is the next stage. Okay, so this is a stage where, let's say, I fall into a relationship, romantic relationship, but unhealthy, ungodly relationship, I would say. Okay, because the person was primarily, he was emotionally abusive, and I didn't recognize it back then. So then how does my relationship with God shift? I'm desperately praying. Okay, I'm praying. I'm again going to church daily. I'm reading the Bible daily. I'm praying, sitting by myself. Okay, ഇതെല്ലാം ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. I even burned these candles. Okay, that was very symbolic thing for me, because as I burned the candles, I thought, okay, my pain and suffering, everything is burning along with that. Okay, എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ അതായത് even when this ungodly relationship was going on, I was still connected to God. Okay, but then the main highlight over here is, okay, childhood I didn't know sin. Okay, and at this phase I am coming in terms with sin, or I'm sinning actually. Okay, but I don't know the will of God. Okay, I'm praying without knowing the will of God. എന്തായിരുന്നു എൻ്റെ prayer? God, please help this person I'm in love with. Okay, please change him, let him love me. Okay, let him see my love and change. Okay, that was my prayer. But was it in God's will for me to be in relationship with this person? I was not asking for that. Okay, I was just praying. And don't we all do that? In one way or the other, we'll keep praying for things without actually seeking the will of God. So, that's our phase. Okay, so that is probably let's say, the beginning of the darkest phase, because I'm losing myself. Okay, as I'm in this abusive relationship, ഞാൻ തിരിച്ചറിയുന്നില്ല that it is an abusive relationship. Love is blind. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll do everything in love and then this person will change. So I lose my identity, okay? Academically bright, I'm turning to this person who is not studying in order to please this person, please my boyfriend, because he was not good at studies, so he would get angry when I'm scoring well, okay? Or I'm cutting off my friendships, my social circle, because he is possessive and he does not like me going out with these people. And I'm not recognizing any. I'm such a fool. Okay, I didn't recognize any of these things. I thought, okay, it's because of his love that he's doing all of that. Okay, I'm thinking, and this happens, okay, 18-year-old, okay, you think such things, okay? So, the relationship was not healthy, and it was making me lose my own identity, and nothing, you know, and I'm cutting off everything. Meanwhile, I'm actually, as a psychologist, I know I was going through depression back then, okay? I was having depressive symptoms because, yes, I was thinking about death. Yes, I was wishing for death. Okay, because athray emotional I'm wishing for death, but still I'm desperately praying to God. Okay, and again, not understanding His will. So I have a beautiful family in Amarnalo. So where did the family go this time? I was very skilled enough to hide all of this from my family, okay? I didn't let anyone know what I was going through. Okay, I would make it look like it's nothing serious, okay? I'm just sharing this, it's nothing serious. And I would mask all of this. I would not tell my friends or anything because confidentgirl@gmail.com. I thought I will handle these problems by myself. Okay, I know how to do this, I will handle this, okay? So, okay, where the self-righteousness, I guess, okay, I'm not taking help. Okay, major problem. Okay, take help. Whenever you need help, take help. There is nothing wrong in taking help. So, I face and ultimately I try to kill myself. So, when I'm trying to kill myself, I'm doing it because of this relationship. Okay, not thinking through. Even when I paramedical course, so medical knowledge I didn't. Okay, I thought I'll anyway die. I didn't think of this whole spinal cord injury or anything. But then, because I didn't die, I'm waking up on the bed, right? And when I'm waking up on the bed, I'm wondering to myself, I really did this? Every time I had suicidal thoughts, I would tell myself that, no, I wouldn't do that. You see, suicide is for cowards. Okay, people who are trying to escape life. Okay, people who are brave will not do that. Okay. Do you believe that? Please don't. Okay, suicide is suicide. Okay, it has nothing to do with bravery or cowardice. Okay, you go in a desperate situation, you will wish for death. Some people will take the next step of actually trying to kill themselves. Okay, my whole mindset was, okay, suicide is for cowards, I will never do that. Okay, so അങ്ങനെ ചിന്തിച്ചിരുന്ന ഞാൻ ഈ പറയുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ ഐ എം അൾട്ടിമേറ്റ്ലി ഡൂയിങ് ദാറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് വെൻ ഐ എം വേക്കിംഗ് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് തിങ്കിങ് ഐ റിയലി ഡിഡ് ദാറ്റ്, ഐ ഡിഡ് ദാറ്റ്, സഡൻലി ഷോക്കാണ്. ഓക്കെ, ബിക്കോസ് ഇത് മൈനർ കാര്യമല്ലല്ലോ, മേജർ കാര്യമല്ലേ. ഐ ഹാവ് മൈ ഫാമിലി വിത്ത് മീ. ഓക്കെ, എവ്രി വൺ, ഓക്കെ, അയ്യോ വാട്ട് വിൽ എവ്രി വൺ തിങ്ക് ഓഫ് മീ? പോയി, എല്ലാം പോയി, എവ്രിതിങ് യു നോ. വെൻ ഐ ക്രാഷ് ഡൗൺ ഓൺ ടു ദ ഫ്ലോർ ദാറ്റ് ഡേ, യെസ്, ഐ ട്രൈ ടു ജംപ് ഓഫ് മൈ ഹോസ്റ്റൽ ബിൽഡിംഗ് വിച്ച് വാസ് 4 floors high. So when I crashed onto the floor, everything is crashing. Everything. My entire self is crashing. In confidence, self-esteem, hope, everything is crashing with me. And so back on the bed, with my back broken, spinal cord injury, okay, my both arms are broken. My neck has a hairline fracture. I am having a collar. എൻ്റെ ഒരു കാലിൽ ഫ്രാക്ചർ ഉണ്ട്. വൺ ഓഫ് മൈ കിഡ്നീസ് ഹസ് സ്റ്റോപ്ഡ് വർക്കിംഗ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ മെനി സച്ച് പ്രോബ്ലംസ്. അങ്ങനെ കിടക്കുക, ആസ്ട്രോനോട്ടിനെ പോലെ കട്ടിലിൽ കിടക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് ഐ ലുക്ക് at the people around me. My mother is there, my aunt is there, Papa, Cheshi, all of these people, you know, at different points they're coming in. And I'm feeling shame. Absolute shame. What did I do? Okay? എന്താ കാണിച്ചേ? ഹേറ്റ്രെഡ് ടുവേർഡ്സ് മൈസെൽഫ്. ഹേറ്റ്രെഡ്. കാരണം I was not a fool, കേട്ടോ. I was smart. In my own agenda, I was smart. അപ്പോൾ അതിനെല്ലാം എതിരായിട്ട് what did I do? Accept ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷേ well, it was just the beginning, okay? Just the beginning, because ആ സമയത്ത് I'm not realizing that medically, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മെഡിക്കൽ സയൻസ് പ്രകാരം the permanence of this condition, okay? Spinal cord injuries are said to be permanent disabilities, okay? അത് ഹീൽ ആവില്ല. I mean, depending on severity and അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ നോക്കിയിട്ട്, okay? But it has this permanent nature, okay? So അന്ന് accept ചെയ്യുന്ന മോഡിലല്ല. But still, you know, I'm full of hatred towards myself. Okay, ബാക്കി എല്ലാവരും what are they thinking of me? So I'm at fault in front of my parents, okay, my most loved people in the world, I would say. Okay, I'm at fault in front of them. പപ്പയും മമ്മിയും പഠിപ്പിച്ച കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും അല്ല ഇത്. ഓക്കെ, അവർക്ക് അഭിമാനമാണെന്ന് കരുതിയ ഞാൻ അവർക്ക് അപമാനമാണ്. ഓക്കെ, I'm at fault in front of them, and above that I'm at fault in front of God. Like, God is the giver of life, right? And I try to play God. I'm at fault in front of him. But I would say the most tricky part was I was at fault in front of myself. Okay, that is hard to live with. Okay, when you hate yourself, okay, that's hard to, each moment becomes misery. Okay, so ഇതായിരുന്നു അപ്പോഴത്തെ എൻ്റെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, so there is this verse in the Bible about that is specifically meaningful at this point. Did I mention? Okay, this is 2 Corinthians 7:10. Godly sorrow brings repentance that leads to salvation and leaves no regret, but worldly sorrow brings death. Okay, just keep this verse in your mind, because I think I've experienced both of them. Because I didn't die, thankfully I could experience godly sorrow as well. But yes, worldly sorrow is what made me try to kill myself. Okay, but godly sorrow is what helped redeem me. Okay, and another verse, okay, James 1:14-15. Yet truly each one is tempted by his own desires, having been enticed and drawn away. Thereafter, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. Yet truly sin, when it has been consummated, produces death. Basically, it starts off with desire and ends in death. Okay, so that is where I was headed to. Okay, I could have died, but thank God he kept me alive. But initially phase, okay, that is, there begins the next phase. So Aditya phase was childhood, where I didn't know sin, and then moved to this whole desperate in prayer but without knowing the will of God. And then we are moving to this next portion that is all broken and damaged. Okay, I'm broken and damaged and desperate need of a healer and a person who will forgive me. So there begins my redemption. Okay, there begins my redemption. So hospital കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്, when I'm slowly recognizing that ഈ condition, it's not going to go away soon. Okay, a lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of people attempt suicide. Okay, ഇപ്പോൾ 10th ക്ലാസ് റിസൾട്ടൊക്കെ വരുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലായിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർ ICUയിൽ വിളിക്കും, നമുക്ക് DSH മീൻസ് ഡെലിബറേറ്റ് സെൽഫ് ഹാം. ഓക്കെ, DSH കേസാണ്, കുട്ടികളാണ്, 10th standard സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആണ്, who have tried to kill themselves because they didn't get the marks they expected or the marks others expected. Okay, a lot of people try to kill themselves. പക്ഷേ depending on the way they choose, they'll be easily able to mask it. അല്ലേ, അത് ചോദിച്ചാലേ അറിയാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ, അല്ലാതെ കണ്ടാൽ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. ഞാനിപ്പോൾ വീൽ ചെയറിലല്ലേ, അപ്പോൾ everyone who knows the story, they know, oh, she did that. അല്ലേ, okay, so each day I need to carry this with me. Oh, I did this എന്നുള്ളത് മാത്രമല്ല. What hurt me the most was I hurt these people around me. Okay, when I look at my parents now, I have to talk about them. കാരണം if it were not for their love, okay, when I say parents, you know, my sister will always say, ഞാനിവിടെ പോയി, she's also there in the whole picture. My family, my beautiful family, okay, all of them. So if it were not for their love, I wouldn't have survived. Okay, കാരണം at no point did they blame me. Can you imagine that? Okay, സ്വന്തം മകൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യാണ്, പക്ഷേ those parents, the family has the integrity to hold back all their comments and to just tell me that we are happy you are alive. Okay, you're safe with us, you're fallen, we are here to support you, we'll get you back up on your feet. Okay? This is what my parents did. Okay? എൻ്റെ ആദ്യത്തെ ഈ സമയത്തൊക്കെ ഇറ്റ് വാസ് റിയലി ഹാർഡ്. ഓക്കെ, യു ക്യാൻ ഇമാജിൻ, റൈറ്റ്? ഈ പറയുന്ന ഒരു പൊസിഷനിൽ കാണുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഹൗ മച്ച് ദേ വുഡ് ഗ്രീവ്, റൈറ്റ്? ആൻഡ് they had absolutely no idea that this was going to happen. I was not sharing anything, right? So it came as a shock. But then still they would try to make me laugh, make me smile and cheer up and everything. Okay? Each moment they would stand by my side and say, it is okay, yeah, we are here. Okay? എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ, അതായത് ലൈഫ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ഓവർ. ഓക്കെ? ലൈഫ് ഇസ് ദെയർ, ലൈഫ് ഇസ് ലെഫ്റ്റ് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ഈച്ച് വൺ ഓഫ് ദെം. അതിൽ മമ്മി, she has stood by my side right from the beginning up till this point. Okay? She has seen different shades of me. ആദ്യം ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ കിടക്കുന്ന irritated, angry ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഞാൻ, denying and refusing everything, fighting with her. And then back home, the one who is crying at night, yes, I do. I used to do that. Lights all off ആയിട്ട് when I'm back at home, I wait for the lights to be off so that I can just cry. ശബ്ദം വെക്കാതെ കരയെ. And I would ask God, why did this happen to me? So that was the next phase where I was questioning the will of God. Okay? So either I've not understood the will of God. Adim, I didn't know sin, okay, living the usual life, and then praying without knowing the will of God, and then reaching this point where I'm questioning, why did this happen to me? Why didn't I die? That was my question. Why didn't I die? Okay? Or why did you have to leave me this way? Okay? Why did you have to give me such a permanent disability? I was questioning the will of God. So I would cry at night, and I would not stop crying because I got any answer, but I would stop crying because I was tired of crying. I was tired. അങ്ങനെ മതി എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ. ഓക്കെ? സോ അങ്ങനത്തെ സ്റ്റേജ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ബാക്ക് അറ്റ് ഹോം ഐ കുഡൻ ബെയർ മൈ ഓൺ കമ്പനി. ഞാൻ ഒറ്റയ്ക്കിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്ന ഒച്ചയിൽ എന്താ, ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് വാട്ട് യു ഡിഡ്, ഓൾ യുവർ ഡ്രീംസ് ആർ ഗോൺ. ഓക്കെ? I had a lot of ambition. I mean, when I chose this course, paramedical course, okay, അത് ചെയ്ത് I would be employed at probably this age, and then I would take care of my family, I'd get married, okay, all of those things. Okay? Typical dreams. Okay? So our dreams ellam poi, but look at your friends, they are still doing that, they are still studying, they are still gaining this, they are having fun. Okay? Look at you can't even pee by yourself, you can't even poop by, I still can't. Okay? I've lost bowel bladder control. Okay? താഴോട്ട് സെൻസേഷനും മൂവ്മെൻറ്റും ഇല്ലയെന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ I cannot know when I'm leaking, I cannot know when I feel like pooping. No. Okay? So ഇതിനെല്ലാം I need help. ഡ്രസ്സ് ഇടാൻ ഹെൽപ്പ് വേണം, എണ്ണീച്ചിരിക്കാൻ ഹെൽപ്പ് വേണം, കഴിക്കാൻ ഹെൽപ്പ് വേണം, അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഇനിഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേജസ്. Now I'm much better. Okay? So initial stages, all of this I had to take help. No? So when I see that my mother has to clean, when I pass motion, she needs to clean and handle my shit. Okay? That used to be so heartbreaking. Like, oh my God, what did I do? Okay? സഹിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ലായിരുന്നു because of what I did to them. Okay? I used to wonder, okay, what hurts more? Does it hurt that, okay, maybe I may not walk again? Ado, does it hurt that my parents will have to die seeing me like this? I was questioning this. And what hurts more? Okay? So I've always prayed to God, if you're healing me, okay, I want you to heal me when they are alive, when they can see and rejoice in it, when they can thank you for that. That is my prayer. Still, that is my prayer. Okay? So seeing this, okay, I tried to kill myself for a person who didn't really love me. But because I didn't die, I'm seeing how much I hurt the people who actually love me. Okay? I'm seeing that, and seeing that is so hard because you cannot see that and love yourself. Okay, Bible പറയുന്നുണ്ട് love yourself. Okay, how can you love yourself? So it was tough times. Okay, but it's not all dark because God is using all of these times to help me, show me that He loves me. So He brings friends into the picture, spiritual ആയിട്ടുള്ള friends who guide me to start reading the Bible again. So there was a time I've fallen off track. ഇതൊക്കെ സംഭവിക്കുമ്പോൾ I'm like, oh, Bible is just a book of good principles എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു നിമിഷമുണ്ട്. Not for long, but yes, അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു മൊമെൻറ്റ് വന്നായിരുന്നു. But അതിനുശേഷം these friends are coming and visiting me, they are encouraging me to read the Bible daily, pray daily, and I start that. And again with a lot of pain. Okay, അങ്ങനെ ബൈബിൾ വായിച്ചു തുടങ്ങുമ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ റിക്വയർമെൻറ്റ് എന്താ, I've heard these people, no, my family, my loved ones, so heal me. Okay, rectify all of this, correct all of this. Okay, heal me. So I am desperate for healing. You know, God is our healer, alle. So I am desperate for healing, and then there is so much of guilt in me, and I am desperate for forgiveness. So that is the next stage. Appo I'm reading Bible verses. Okay, ഞാൻ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാൻ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ I'm crying because again, what do I tell God? How dare I pray for anything after doing all of this? How dare? Okay, so പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാൻ പോലും പറ്റുന്നില്ല, കരയാണ്. Okay, പക്ഷെ our God, you know, he's amazing. അങ്ങനെ കരയുമ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിൻ്റെ ഞരക്കങ്ങൾ പോലും അറിയാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ദൈവമാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഒപ്പം അല്ലേ. അപ്പോൾ ഈവൻ വെൻ വി കൻ നോട്ട് പുട്ട് അവർ prayers into words, okay, they're just coming out as groanings and mournings, okay, പക്ഷെ God knows what you need അല്ലേ. So അങ്ങനെയുള്ള സമയത്ത് I'll tell you what God told me, okay, and I'm sure God has told all of you the same thing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. അത് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഹൈലൈറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. Okay, it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. Is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. So, അന്നത്തെ എൻ്റെ കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റിൽ when I'm crying, okay, when I'm telling myself I deserve nothing എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സമയത്ത്, when I'm hearing that love is patient and kind, love is, വേറെ വേർഷൻസിൽ it also says love is forgiving, okay, it never keeps track of mistakes എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ I mean, that is exactly what I wanted to hear right then, and God is telling me that. So God is telling me that I love you no matter what you did. That is what God is saying. That, you know, ഓരോ തവണ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുമ്പോഴും God would come back with these verses, and he started noting them down. Okay, അതായത് അതുവരെ let's say I have Bible reading, praying and everything, but പുതിയ add on, that is noting down these verses. Okay, when God is telling me some things and they are helping me, they're like healing me internally, I'm writing these verses down. And അതിന്നും ഇപ്പോഴും ആ ബുക്കുണ്ട് എനിക്ക്. And whenever I read those verses, you know, they feel so sweet, they feel so soothing to our soul. Okay, so ഈ വേഴ്സസ് എഴുതിയിടുകയാണ്, and I'm memorizing them because I know the voices in my head, they keep going on and on. It's like ഒരു പാട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ പ്ലേ ആയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. Okay, just that it's a very irritating song. Okay, അതിങ്ങനെ കേട്ടിരിക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ you need something to counter that, അല്ലേ? And that is the word of God. That is your sword, right? So I started writing down these verses and memorizing them. And I'm realizing that, okay, God forgives me. So I'm at fault in front of my parents. So with all of their love, okay, I'm realizing that, okay, they don't hold me at fault. They're not pinning me up because of the mistakes I'm doing. Okay, that is very crucial. Okay, that is very crucial that there are people around you who show God's character. Okay, so I'm getting that from my family. And then as I'm praying and spending more time with God's word, listening to devotionals, okay, God is showing me that he loves me, he cares for me, life is not over, okay, that God is my healer, okay, God is my savior, Jesus died on the cross for me. Yeah, so now you know I understood what sin is. Okay, I clearly understood what sin is. Okay, childhood Nincy മനസ്സിലാക്കുകയാണ്, oh, sin is this അല്ലേ. The little child in me is understanding, oh, okay, so that is why Jesus had to die on the cross. That is why he had to come down for us, to those who are lost, who are sick, you know. അപ്പോൾ I need that savior അല്ലേ. So God is giving me hope that he will heal me, he has forgiven me, and it stays. No one can take it away from me. So that is strengthening me. Internally that is strengthening me. But still challenge remains. Kanam, I was at fault in front of myself. So I would tell this, okay, to myself. As in, when I'm praying, I would say, God can forgive me, but I cannot. Okay? ദൈവം എന്നോട് ക്ഷമിക്കുമായിരിക്കും, പക്ഷെ എനിക്ക് എന്നോട് ക്ഷമിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. I used to hold on to that for such a long time, കേട്ടോ. Okay. But then I'm hearing this devotional in which the pastor is saying, when God forgives you, if you are saying you cannot forgive yourself, do you think you're greater than God? Appo I'm like, that makes sense, alle. The creator, the person who, the God who created you, okay, tells you, I forgive you. Ennu parayumbo, and you are saying, I can't forgive myself. Okay, are you greater than God? I've always tried to understand this by with the pictures that I draw, കേട്ടോ. Okay, അതായത് ഞാൻ പടങ്ങൾ ഊതുന്നിട്ട് വരയ്ക്കുന്നുണ്ടല്ലേ, I am the one drawing those pictures. So when one picture is not so great, okay, imagine these pictures start comparing with themselves. Oh, I'm not good, you are better. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ oh, see, I am better, you are bad. ഓക്കെ എന്ന് പറയുക. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലെറ്റ് സേ ഒരു പിക്ചറിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നമുണ്ട്, ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് പിക്ചർ ഇസ് സേയിങ്, ഓ നോ, ഐ കാൺട്ട് ലവ് മൈസെൽഫ്, ഈവൻ വെൻ യു ലവ് മീ ഐ കാൺട്ട്. അപ്പോൾ what is it? I'm like, I drew you, I gave you life, no? And you're telling me that, no, you didn't do it right. Alle, hey, when we are actually saying that to ourselves, like, I cannot like myself, I cannot forgive myself, we are actually trying to tell God that you don't know what you're doing. You're not doing it right. Alle, appo slowly I'm starting to forgive myself. Alle, when God made me humble, okay, I'm starting to forgive myself. Every time when I say that I'm not able to forgive. Now, who is bringing all of these thoughts into our heads? Okay? It is the enemy. It is the devil. When God has forgiven you, when God has saved you, when God loves you, what does the devil tell you? He says that it's not enough. Adu pora. You need to do more. Okay? You were saved before, but now you're not. Okay? God loves you, but you don't know, with all of the things that you have done, maybe he does not. This is what the enemy constantly does to you. Okay? There is God's truth. The enemy's purpose is to counter that and make you feel like you are not enough, God is not enough. Mananthala. So slowly I'm countering all of these negative voices in me, and my relationship with God is building. Which appuram there is one element, okay, that is I am desperate for healing. Because if I'm not healed, I'm still carrying this sin, no? I've still hurt these people who love me. So I was desperate for healing, and whenever there is this okay, ഓരോ വർഷങ്ങളായല്ലേ, ലൈക്ക് 11 വർഷമായി ഇപ്പോൾ. അപ്പോൾ ഓരോ വർഷങ്ങളിലും ആദ്യ സമയങ്ങളിലൊക്കെ ചിലർ വന്ന്, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പ്രാർത്ഥനക്കാർ ചിലർ വന്ന് പറയും, ആദ്യത്തെ വർഷം, ഒരു വർഷം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ, 3.5 വർഷമാകുമ്പോൾ, ഓക്കെ, ഇങ്ങനെ ഓരോന്നും പറയേ. ആൻഡ് not to blame you in any way for what you're doing. പക്ഷേ if you can remember this and be sensitive to people who are struggling, okay? People have come to me and made me feel like I'm not healed because I'm not doing something right. I'm not praying enough. Okay? My relationship with God is not active. Okay? ഞാനൊരു പാപി ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് എന്ന് പല ആവർത്തി പല രീതിയിൽ ആൾക്കാർ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവർ പറയുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്? ഈ പറയുന്നല്ലേ, 3.5 വർഷമാകുമ്പോൾ ശരിയാവും, കാത്തിരിക്കും. ഇങ്ങനെ പറയുന്ന ഡയലോഗുകളുണ്ട്, നമ്മുടെ തലേന്ന് മാറില്ല. അപ്പോൾ യു വെയിറ്റ് ഫോർ this 3.5 years, but still the healing does not happen. അപ്പോൾ okay, didn't I do something right? Okay? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജനറൽ ആൾക്കാർ ചിലപ്പോൾ വന്നിട്ട് പറയുന്നത്, വെറുതെ കിടക്കുമ്പോൾ കാലനക്കാൻ നോക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, ഒരു ബോൾ ഇവിടെ ഇട്ടിട്ട് ചുമ്മാ തട്ടാൻ നോക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, ഐ ടെൽ യു വാട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഫീൽസ് ലൈക്ക്. ഓക്കെ, നിങ്ങൾ ഓരോരുത്തരും ഇരിക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ തൊട്ടടുത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ആളുടെ കാലൊന്ന് അനക്കാൻ നോക്കിക്കേ, നിങ്ങളുടെ കണ്ണുപയോഗിച്ച്. കാല് കൈവച്ച് തൊട്ടരുത് കേട്ടോ. ഓക്കെ, wherever you're sitting, try to move the person who's sitting your neighbor's feet using mind control. Just try, please. ഒരു 2 seconds എങ്കിലും 2 seconds നിങ്ങളൊന്ന് ട്രൈ ചെയ്ത്. ഓക്കെ, കാല് വലുതാണെങ്കിൽ just try to move their hair, കണ്ണുപയോഗിച്ചിട്ട്. How does it feel like? Impossible അല്ലേ? That is exactly how I feel like. Okay, എൻ്റെ ബോഡിയാണിതെങ്കിലും I'm sorry, it's not connected now. Nerves are not connected, okay? Neurons are not connected. Connection പോകുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ when I try to move my feet, this is exactly how I feel like. Okay? And കുറേ വർഷങ്ങൾ I've believed that, or I've doubted myself that I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not praying enough. And people keep repeating, you believe and you receive, അല്ലേ? Okay? So a lot of, again, പ്രാർത്ഥനക്കാർ, they would tell me, okay, you have to believe. You have to believe that you're healed. Okay? I'll tell you how I feel like. എൻ്റെ താഴോട്ട് വെയിറ്റ് ഭാരമാണ്. I'm dragging myself. Okay? പക്ഷേ ഈ വർഷങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ട് I'm so used to it, I'm so familiar with it right now that maybe I can't remember how it feels like to be normal. Okay? മനസ്സിലായോ? അപ്പോൾ I've always countered this. അപ്പോൾ I was desperate for healing. So I would note down നമ്മുടെ ബൈബിളിൽ നിന്ന് ഹീലിംഗ് വേഴ്സുകളെല്ലാം എഴുതിയിട്ടിട്ട് I would repeat them, okay, because there would be people who tell me God healed all of these people. God, it is in the will of God to heal people. Okay, yes, so I'm trying to understand the will of God now. So it is in the will of God to heal people. So okay, God wills to heal me, okay? Because we have that leper who says to Jesus, if you will, you can heal me. And he says that I do, I wish to, or I want to, right? So it is in the will of God to heal me. Okay, so I'm holding on to that. So then someone would come across me and say, Mate, there was a stirring water, no? ഒരു സീൻ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, water would stir and there is this person 37 years ആയിട്ട് അവിടെ കിടക്കുന്നു, who is bubbling waterലോട്ട് പോകാൻ നോക്കുന്നു, but he can't. So then a person would come and tell me, there were many people who were there, but God healed only that person. So what happened to the other people? So God does not heal everyone. Okay? അതൊക്കെ നമുക്കിങ്ങനെ ഒരു വലിയ പാറക്കഷ്ണം എടുത്ത് വെച്ചൊരു God won't heal me. Okay? അപ്പോൾ what I'm trying to show you is my relationship with God is building. Okay? I'm growing closer to God. പക്ഷേ എന്നെ തളർത്തുന്നൊരു കാര്യം എന്താ? ഹീലിംഗ് കിട്ടുമോ ഇല്ലയോ? അപ്പോൾ the devil knows it well, അല്ലേ? The devil uses that. God will not heal you. The devil would put this thought in me. What if God does not heal you? What if, my biggest fear, okay? What if your parents will die seeing you in this position? Okay? അപ്പോൾ അത് സഹിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. I'll cry at that thought and I'll push that off. Okay? I'll push that off. And one of my favorite imaginations, എന്താ പറയുക, fantasizing thought was, ഞാനിങ്ങനെ കിടക്കുകയാണ്, പപ്പ മമ്മി ചേച്ചി ഇവരൊക്കെ അവരവരുടെ കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്ന് എൻഗേജ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, and suddenly I'm getting up, okay, and taking steps and walking and then going in front of them, and then the shock and surprise in their eyes. Okay, this was my favorite imagination. But at the end of this imagination I would again feel sad, because that is not the reality. And would it happen? Another question. Okay, so you see that how this particular thing, okay, when you're desperate for something, it actually makes you weak. Okay, so again I would pray over that, okay, and I, over a period of time, I understood, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കുറേ ലൈഫിലുള്ള കുഞ്ഞു കുഞ്ഞു എക്സാമ്പിൾസിലൂടെ I understood that God actually works with your heart before He changes your situation. Examples there, okay? Is it too long? ഒത്തിരി സമയം എടുക്കുന്നുണ്ടല്ലേ? 7 o'clock ആയില്ലേ? Okay, quickly. So small examples like, let's say when I need to, ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും പഠിത്തം തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ, അതായത് my other course had to be discontinued, so I was looking for different courses. So I felt really sad, കാരണം ഞാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന കോഴ്സിന് പോകാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല, because I am a wheelchair user, I cannot sit for long എന്നുള്ളത് കാരണം I cannot go, and I'm feeling sad. So distance ആയിട്ടുള്ള കോഴ്സുകൾ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ I'm thinking, this is not good. But then God puts this thought in me that, see, പഠിക്കണം എന്ന് ആഗ്രഹമുള്ളവർക്ക് അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ഓപ്ഷൻ ഉള്ളത്, okay, that you can study from home. So it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Okay, so again my heart changes over there. My willingness to do something from home, it improves, and then I make that decision, okay, I'll study from home, and I took psychology. So ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുഞ്ഞു കുഞ്ഞു കാര്യങ്ങളിലൂടെ, അതായത് God would work through my thoughts. Okay, I'll have this unique thought, okay, through which ഈ പറയുന്ന whatever situation is coming up ahead, I'll be prepared for that. So then I just trusted God that അതായത് again all of this is taking years. Okay, ഞാനിപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ കട്ട് ഷോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പറയുമ്പോൾ there are years that happen and go by in between. So I started praying to God that whatever മുന്നോട്ട് എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചാലും God will equip me for that. Okay, and അതിന് one of my biggest inspirations was Abraham. Okay, when he was going up the mountain to sacrifice his son Isaac. Okay, would Abraham have been sad and afraid and all of that? Yes, though we don't know the emotional side of Abraham. Okay, we can just see his action. But then it is said that in Hebrews Abraham believed that if God took Isaac away, God would be able to bring him back to life again. And the truth is, God trusted Abraham also. God knew Abraham's faith and അതുകൊണ്ട് അതിനെ ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തേ. Okay, so that inspired me. I was like, okay, so God is actually trusting me, that I will endure this. I will believe in him. I will trust in him, and the God is trusting me. Okay, that is in the such an important thought in my head. So I started praying that okay, whatever happens going forward, he will equip me for that. Okay, അപ്പോൾ എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? ദിസ് ഡെസ്പറേഷൻ ഫോർ ഹീലിംഗ്, ഓക്കെ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് സ്ലോലി ഗോയിങ് ഓൺ. ആൻഡ് അതിൻ്റെ സൈഡിൽ കൂടെ ദർ ആർ സിറ്റുവേഷൻസ് ദാറ്റ് ആർ ഹാപ്പനിങ്, ലൈക്ക് ഇയേഴ്സ് ആർ ഗോയിങ് ബൈ. ഈ 10-year മാർക്ക് ഹിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വാസ് എ മേജർ മൈൽ സ്റ്റോൺ ഫോർ മീ. ഐ വാസ് സോ അഫ്രേഡ്. ഓക്കെ, 10 years, it will be a decade since I was like this. Okay, അപ്പോൾ I was so afraid. Okay, 10 years മുമ്പ് ഹീലിംഗ് നടക്കണം. പക്ഷേ then 10 years went by and suddenly there was this sense of peace. Okay, that is experience now, 10 years. കാരണം people would come to me right now and they look at me sympathetically. എന്ത് പറ്റിയതാ മോളെ? അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറയും, അത് നട്ടലിന് പ്രശ്നം വന്നാ. എത്ര നാളായി? they are expecting months കേട്ടോ. അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ 10 വർഷമായി. ഓക്കെ, പിന്നെ ഒന്നും വേണ്ടത്തില്ല. അതിൽ ഷട്ട് their mouth. ഓക്കെ, പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാം, ഓക്കെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് പോവും. അപ്പോൾ 10 years എന്ന് എനിക്കൊരു ബാഡ്ജായി. ഓക്കെ, കാരണം 10 years ആയപ്പോൾ വെൻ പീപ്പിൾ വുഡ് സേ, വെറുതെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ കാലനക്കാൻ നോക്കണം. ഇറ്റ്സ് ലൈക്ക് ഓക്കെ, ഓക്കെ, ബിലീവ് ആൻഡ് യു വിൽ റിസീവ്. ഓക്കെ, അതായത് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആയി. These statements, these dialogues were no longer affecting me because I believe in God. Okay, and I am trusting that whatever, മുന്നോട്ട് എന്ത് തന്നെയായിരുന്നാലും God will equip me for that. അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ my relationship is growing stronger. Okay, our desperation for healing is changing. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് ഇയേഴ്സ് വേണ്ടി വന്നു. ആൻഡ് ഓൾസോ ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന വർക്കിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ 2 സ്ഥലങ്ങളിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒന്ന് നിംസാണ്, അവിടെ സൈക്കോളജിസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ക്ലിനിക്കൽ സെറ്റപ്പിലാണ്. മറ്റേത് an NGO called Pallium India. പാലിയേറ്റീവ് കെയർ ആണ്. ഫോർ ദോസ് ഓഫ് യു ഹു ഡോണ്ട് നോ വാട്ട് പാലിയേറ്റീവ് കെയർ ഇസ്, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് എന്താ പറയുക, ട്രീറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് ആൻഡ് കെയർ ഫോർ പീപ്പിൾ ഹു ഗോ ത്രൂ ടെർമിനൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ക്രോണിക് ഇൽനെസ്സസ്. സോ ദർ ആർ പീപ്പിൾ വിത്ത് പെർമനൻറ്റ് ഡിസബിലിറ്റീസ് ദർ. അതായത് എന്നെപ്പോലെ വീൽ ചെയർ ബൗണ്ട് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്, അല്ലാതെ ക്യാൻസറുമായിട്ട് ബാറ്റിൽ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്, ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള പലരും ഉണ്ട്. ഐ എം സീയിങ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ദീസ് പീപ്പിൾ ഹു ആർ സഫറിങ്. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റനിങ്, ഓക്കെ, ഡോണ്ട് ഓൾ ഓഫ് ദെം ഡിസേർവ് ഹീലിംഗ്? അല്ലേ, വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഞാനിത് പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് എന്താ, what is special about me? So then I kind of, again, through prayer I am understanding it's not about me, but it's because I believe in God. Okay, it is God who brings healing. അല്ലേ? പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ ഈ ഓരോ ആൾക്കാരെ കാണുമ്പോൾ ഐ എം ബീങ് മോർ ഫെമിലിയർ വിത്ത് ദിസ് ഡിസബിലിറ്റി ആൻഡ് തിങ്സ് ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ്, ആൻഡ് ആ ഒരു ഡെസ്പറേഷൻ മാറി വരിക. സോ കമ്മിങ് ടു ദ കറൻറ്റ് സ്റ്റേജ് ഓഫ് relationship with God. അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താ? നമ്മൾ അവസാനമായി കേട്ടോ. For those of you who are feeling bored, okay, we are concluding now. So this current state is of waiting. Okay, waiting എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, now I've been forgiven of my sins. I know I'm saved. I know I'm loved by God. I know God is my healer. He's capable of healing me. I know all of these things. Okay, പക്ഷേ ഡേ ടു ഡേ സിറ്റുവേഷൻസിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ there is always this tendency to sin. അല്ലേ? Even when you have been forgiven, there is this tendency to sin. Sin എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ it can be as small as maybe not doing something you're supposed to do, or getting angry with your loved ones, all of those things. Yeah, but tendency to sin is always there. But what do you do with that? Okay, and I'm still waiting for healing. അല്ലേ? And it's not easy. മുന്നോട്ട് പോകുന്ന അനുസരിച്ച് ഓരോരോ challenges വരിക. Okay, so all of this, ആ ഒരു വെയിറ്റിംഗ് പീരിയഡിൽ you're going through that, and അവിടെ what am I hanging on to? Again, all these years, all these stages of my faith was necessary for understanding this. And that is having this relationship with God. Okay? This living relationship with God. എന്നാൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ഈ ക്രിസ്ത്യൻ ലൈഫ്സ് ജീവിക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. ഓക്കെ, അതായത് ഇപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഫോക്കസ് ഹാസ് ഷിഫ്റ്റഡ് ടു ലവിങ് ഗോഡ്. Okay, I keep praying, please help me to think more about you, talk more about you. Okay, I have a lot of worries, we all do. But rather than worrying, they may let me trust you in all of these worries. Okay, it's about loving God. And one thing I've realized is, you cannot say you love God without loving those around you. The two of the greatest commandments in the Bible is to love your God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, your strength. And the second one is to love your neighbor as yourself. People who say you love God, that means your love should flow out to those around you also. Especially now over here, the profession I do is very, let's say, helpful, or I would say in the right track, because I see a lot of people who are suffering, struggling, especially emotionally. They'll come before me, they'll sit and cry, I'll see pain and hopelessness in their eyes. Okay? There is this genuine compassion that comes in me, and I know it is so overwhelming, and so it must be from God. Okay? There is this genuine compassion in me where I want to comfort them. Okay? I wish for the gift of healing so that I can heal these others. Mananthala. Where I share their struggles. Okay? And I want to, I pray to God, they may bring people to me so that I can turn them to you. Okay? What I'm telling you is, all of these, അതായത് ഞാൻ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ എല്ലാ കഥയിലും, okay, where am I right now? As we are waiting, Christian life is all about waiting, I think. We wait a lot for our promises to be fulfilled. And while we wait, we need to love God and love those He has put around us. Because that is the way people will recognize that, okay, God is there. For me, and the family, the love that helped me wonder, okay, if they love me so much, how much more would God love me? So imagine if we all live that kind of lives, especially in the faithless generation, okay, when they look at us and then they see us and they'll be like, where is this love coming from? They'll be curious, I hope. Okay, so yeah, that is basically what I wanted to tell you today. Okay, that no matter what kind of struggles you're going on in your lives, okay, I felt three things are very important. One, you need to have a personal relationship with God. A personal relationship with God where you spend time alone in prayer. Okay, and one of the best ways to hear from God is by reading the Bible, because that is how you know God. But yes, you get to hear through prayer and through those others around you. It can be God uses different ways to speak to you. Okay, so you need to have that prayer life going on. You need to read the Bible, and you need a community also. Okay, അതായത് നമുക്ക് ഞാൻ ഭയങ്കര വലിയ ക്രിസ്ത്യാനിയാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് നമ്മുടെ മുറിക്കകത്ത് കഥ അടച്ച് ജീവിക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. Okay, one thing I've understood is, because I've experienced the love of God, I feel like it's impossible to not talk about God. But yeah, motivational speech, I try to be very stingy about talking about God, because what if others will be offended? That fear is there. But I'm not a perfect being. Okay, when you go to the secular world outside, okay, you will be nervous. Okay, if I say this, what will they think? How will they react? Because the last thing I want to engage is in a debate on whether there is God or not. I hate these debates. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, in ways you can. Okay, it can be very small. It's not you who's working, but God works through you. Those small things that you do, okay, it can change a person's life. Okay, so I pray and hope and wish that this community of Esthers would lead to more stronger generation of Esthers, okay, and all other heroes and heroines of faith. Okay, and may God use each one of us for His glory. Okay, innivida varan neram I was praying in the morning, like I was feeling so thankful to God that He found me worthy. He found me worthy enough to use me for bringing Him honor and glory. Just think about it that way. When God is using you, He's actually honoring you. Okay, He's honoring you. ഒരു സെലിബ്രിറ്റി ആയിരുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അല്ലേ, സെലിബ്രിറ്റിയുടെ ഒപ്പം നടക്കാൻ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ഇത് കിട്ടുക എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ they'll be like, oh, he actually chose me അല്ലേ. God is the biggest celebrity, I would say. So He's using all of us, and that is such a great honor. Okay, so with that I'd like to conclude my long speech. Okay, thank you for being very patient with me, and I hope I didn't bore you. May God bless all of us.